most exciting, challenging, and sometimes stressful aspect of today's business world is dealing with the tremendous amount of change we experience. It is reported that over 90% of all of man's inventions and technological improvements have occurred within the last 20 years. At this rate, much of how we do business today will be obsolete by the year 2000. This demand for change requires the American worker to be more flexible and open to new possibilities and ways of doing things. American business also recognizes the importance of human resources and the need to help people manage change. Change not only affects us personally, but also affects our family members, close friends, and co-workers. Understanding various ways change can affect us is the beginning stage of adjustment and moving on. Many changes in life are not easy. They require cooperation, support, and good personal resources to get us through.
Healthy change management actually involves 3 processes or phases. The first is understanding what has happened to us and how we feel about it. Getting fully in touch with the impact that a change has on us is very important. Then we can begin to accept the change by letting go of the way things used to be, learning to see ourselves and our lives a little bit differently. The emotions that people experience in association with a major life transition can range from anticipation and excitement to anger and betrayal, or sorrow and depression. And sometimes what we experience is a whole big confused mixture of those emotions. And sorting it all out can be very difficult. And part of the reason for that is because we've all been taught to keep a pretty tight rein on our feelings, particularly in a professional setting. So in a sense, we're having to do something that's very different than what we've learned to do. Also, the emotions themselves can be pretty uncomfortable, but it's very important to experience them, because what we've learned is that people who don't allow the change to become real for them really aren't able to move forward. Now, I'd like to hear from some of you. Can you describe for us the change that occurred in your life, and then talk a little bit about how you felt?
Yes, the major was I always lived at home with my parents in a big house, and I was spoiled, and, you know, everything was always fine. I was there. I never had to worry about anything. And then suddenly both my parents died within a year. They both got very sick, and they both died within a year.
The big change is, sometimes I have to say, is my divorce, but at the same time, it opened all the new doors, making me feel more human to some things, and working to improve myself.
I just recently was honorably discharged from the military, and at the same time I became a mother, and it was a big transition. I was previously a very motivated soldier, super soldier, and now I'm super mom.
Just changing occupations by trial and error.
Well, there was a lot of things as far as call handling was, because now you were able to make the decisions. Before you were not able to make the decisions. They really wanted you to call a supervisor if you wanted to go out of the procedure. But now you were given the control of the call to satisfy the customer. So that was a big change for people, and that was a big change for myself.
Okay, so to complete this part of the process effectively, we really need to be very clear in our minds and in our hearts about what's happened to us and about how we feel. That's the first step.
What most people fail to realize is that we naturally resist change, whether the change is sudden and unexpected or anticipated and planned for. This could be change associated with going off to school, getting a new job, or having a child. We resist change because it takes us out of our comfort zone, and we have a natural tendency to seek out comfort, pleasure, and security. Major life changes require an adjustment, and this adjustment often leads to a stress cycle. The stress cycle can be triggered by any event that places a demand on us to respond. It begins with a thought or perception of that event. When the thoughts are negative, we start to question our ability to cope, and we anticipate a negative response. Our thoughts then result in emotions, which are a further reflection of our negative beliefs. This sets the mood for how we respond to stressful situations. We also have physical reactions to stress. Everyone is unique in how they experience the impact of stress. Some develop ulcers or tension headaches, while others experience high blood pressure or insomnia. The longer the stress